Hey everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. We're going to spend a few segments with the Superintendent of Education for Terrebonne Parish. That's Mr. Bubba Orgeron. And first of all, thanks for being here, man. What a year, huh?
Yeah.
Well, year one for you.
That's
It's
right,
in the
yeah.
books, although you go 12 months. So
Uh-huh.
I guess you don't really get a vacation like, well, you
No,
probably get a
no,
vacation.
we-
You don't
we-
get summer off, right?
That's right. That's right.
So,
Yeah.
it's been a heck of a year, though, right? So,
Yes.
storm recovery, all the different things that are going on. But personally, how was your first year at work?
I've
in
enjoyed
office?
it thoroughly. It's been a great year. It flew by. It really
yeah.
went quickly. And it seems as though everyone I speak to, it seems like this year was just quicker than other years. It might be because we're more normalized this year. I don't know what that is, but everybody seems to have that sentiment that it flew by.
Yeah.
Like every holiday seems like it's in your rearview mirror
Oh, I
before
know.
it gets
Isn't it
here.
incredible?
Like Easter's gone. Now we're,
Well, look,
looking
you're
for
still a young
summer.
man when you get older like me, man. Every holiday is like that,
Yeah,
right?
I hear you.
They start rolling by for sure. But so you're in the middle of testing right now, which I know is a big deal for you guys.
That's right, yeah.
Particularly after the last 3 years we've been through. I'm sure this year's every year's important, but this year's really important to make sure that y'all finish in a good note.
Finish
right?
strong. That's right. Yeah. And we had 2 years of gaps that were created from obviously the COVID gap and then storm. We lost minutes of instruction. So this is the first year we really had all our
Feels
minutes
good,
to
though?
really get instruction like it
Teachers
should
feel
be.
good. Everybody.
Yeah, you know what else, Harry?
Positive going in?
What we did this year, we built 10 minutes into our school day every day. And when you bank those 10 minutes for the course of a year, we banked 5 days.
Wow.
And we didn't need to use those days. See, we kind of did that so in case we had a storm or
Right,
anything threatening in the Gulf, we could say, you know what, we're going to take off so you can secure your homes and prepare your belongings so that you can evacuate or whatever. And everybody I've spoken to, it seems as though those that stayed, they said never again, right, for the storm.
Right,
So we
right.
want to give them time, right? So we
Absolutely.
banked these days, and we didn't use them. Thank God for that. And so we're going to get out of
Maybe a little ahead
school
of the game.
a week ahead
Oh,
this
even
year
better.
because of those bank days.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So parents need to know that. I think they know that already.
Yeah.
Schools have communicated that, but we're getting out a whole week earlier than the schedule said or the calendar said.
Let's hope we get out a
Yeah.
little bit every year, right?
Yeah,
A
that would be
little-
great, right? Yeah.
So let's talk about storm recovery. And
Uh-huh.
obviously a year ago now, almost
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah, right.
We got smacked pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Almost every building in your plant was affected.
That's right,
So
that's right.
where are we at in recovery?
Yeah, and obviously some more than others, right? We had some minimal damage, and it's a slow process. I mean, I can say that, and we wanted to go so much quicker, but it is what it is. Particularly when you have to cross your T's, dot your I's for FEMA reimbursement. We're dependent upon FEMA reimbursement. Lots of damage costs add up quickly, so we need those federal dollars. Matter of fact, and I can talk a whole lot about insurance, but even, just like homeowners, property insurance, school boards' property insurance is going up drastically as well. So just to give you an idea, $10 million of named storm coverage, which seems like a lot, unless you have an Ida. It's not much at all. But any other storm that we've experienced before, 10 million would have covered it, right?
Yeah.
Ida, not even close. For 10 million of coverage, and this was, researched thoroughly by our insurance brokers, almost $2 million to get $10 million
Wow.
of coverage. So you figure at some point,
Every year?
annual premium, yes.
Wow.
So to get much more than that, it goes up almost exponentially, the cost or the premium cost to get more than 10. So that's what we typically get. And that's what we've been getting. So let's cross our fingers and
Yeah.
ho-
Which is
ask God to kind of spare us, right?
Which is also why
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
really depend on FEMA and do everything they want you to do, right?
Right. Yes. So what I did last time, I'm pretty sure it was last time I was on the television station, is on the school board's website. If anybody wants to know where we're at, the status of repairs of any particular school, on our website, under Hurricane Ida or Hurricane Recovery, there's a little tab across the top of our webpage. It says Hurricane Recovery. You click on that, you click on Hurricane Ida Recovery, and then there's this master schedule. And on the master schedule, it has every school and the status that the repair work is in. So what you're going to see if you go there, and that's for any parent, community member, you'll see that a lot of our projects, and I have the spreadsheet. It looks like this online. Okay. Most of our projects are either in the bid phase where the projects have been bidded out or they're out to bid, and we'll either receive them and approve them like this coming board meeting in May or at the June board meeting. So that's
wow.
that's
That's
close.
good, yeah.
So and that's going to be color coded on here. It's going to be every piece that's in blue. It's in the bid process. So hopefully we get a bunch of bidders, right?
Right.
Because you're looking for low bid, you want quality work, but the more bids, the better, right? You don't want to get stuck with one or two bidders. You want multiple bidders, so you have a really
Which
good.
is an issue, right? 'Cause
Yes,
you're doing
yes.
it. St. Charles
That's
is doing
right.
it.
So-
Lafourche
so
is doing it. All the governments
construction
are doing it. Right.
contractors
Yeah.
are limited.
Yeah.
We've put out our bid process every licensed contract in Louisiana, so we're trying to get as many to bid on these jobs as possible. So the next part that when you go look at our spreadsheet here, our master schedule of recovery and repair work, we have quite a few in the green phase, which is actual construction.
I got you.
So that's a positive thing. We
Yeah,
hadn't seen green in a long time. The blues are turning into greens, which is
I'm
really
afraid
good.
to ask what those reds mean.
Reds mean it's coming. It's red
You
for a
got a
reason.
few reds,
So-
but yeah,
so-
look, I
so-
like the greens and blues.
So the reds are like the design phase. Like it takes architects
Yeah.
a while just to give us a cost analysis
Right.
of the project so we can bid it out.
So yeah, we were going over your chart that can be found online. So Terrebonne Parish School Board.org.
That's right.
And then all of this is on there under the IDA tab.
That's right. Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little more specifically about some of those.
Yeah. So, we have some schools sustain damage. It's not as significant as others, right? Some of our schools are actually like basically total loss. And one of those schools that I want to mention this is relatively new information. It hadn't been officially approved by the board yet, but we asked for permission to request from FEMA to demolish and begin the rebuilding planning of Ellender Memorial High School.
Really?
So from the onset, Ellender, it was questionable whether it was a repair job, which meant we just kind of
50% or
fixed
whatever.
it up
yeah,
based on that 50% rule or tear it down and rebuild it. Well, it's been in the repair phase because meaning the architect, didn't find enough damages to get over that 50% mark. Just recently, when they started literally peeling back some of the walls, they found other issues with Ellender. So with all of the costs associated with the new findings, it puts it over that 50% mark. So now it's going to probably qualify, pending FEMA approval, for a rebuild, which means you demolish it and basically rebuild it on its existing footprint. So that's new information, new news, which is we think
build back better. I mean,
yeah, good point. That's what I was going to say. It's a good thing. The negative, if you want to look at, is going to take a little longer than a repair job. But from the beginning, we talked about those temporary buildings that they're in, and they're really in a good situation. The kids and teachers. It's I think they appreciate and they actually like the conditions they're in right now in these temporary modular setups that we have for South Terrebonne and Ellender.
Right.
So that's a new development, and we're excited about that, and we're going to get potentially a new school.
Is it
for
South
Ellender.
Terrebonne the same?
So close to it, but not quite. South Terrebonne's still in the repair category.
Right. Repair.
Which means the damage wasn't as significant. It didn't go over that 50% threshold. So that's in the works. That project in particular, South Terrebonne, we call it the spectator gym or the competition gym or even the new gym, the gym that sits off in the back. We're going to start on that one first as a separate package, and that one's going to get that bid is going to get approved May 2nd.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot going on May 2nd. So you got all of this going on.
Right. May 2nd or the June board meeting, a lot of these bids are going to come into being awarded and then kind of get into the construction phase.
Are they closed? Do you know what these bids are? Do you have any idea? Or are they?
They're slightly over.
Right.
Some of them. We had some come in under, which is always a good thing. But keep in mind, we're anticipating FEMA to cover 90% of whatever the cost is.
Right.
So if they come in over, well, they're going to cover. That's greater 10% for us. Obviously, we know that. But Nonetheless, they're coming in slightly over, and it seems to have stabilized a little bit the cost of things, but as we know with inflation, everything's more expensive than what it was.
We definitely know
Yeah.
that. So let's talk about safety and AC replacement.
All right. So safety. What we're doing, we're budgeting $1 million a year to do safety projects around our schools.
That's to harden the schools for.
That's exactly right. We're going to harden some schools, and that's been started already. So we have 5 schools that we've designated as priority schools, and we're going to put pretty heavy duty perimeter fencing around the schools. And I kind of mentioned that before. Yeah. So we can really divert people or funnel people to that single point entry that we have. Right now we have single point, but we have a lot of potential backdoor access points and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to harden that with perimeter fencing, and then we're going to start the process of building vestibules in our like kind of retrofitting schools with vestibules, which is mainly a lobby where visitors come in and they have to get buzzed in from a lobby.
Right.
So we can keep them out of the weather, keep them inside the building, but keep them contained until buzzed in. So that's something our schools weren't designed for, obviously, right?
No.
Well before any of this.
We shouldn't be doing, but I mean, 9/11 changed the way we do air flight, and these recent events changed the way we go to school.
That's right. Yeah. So within 5 years, we'll have all of our schools perimeter fenced and vestibule constructed. That's our goal.
It's important. Yeah.
So we budgeted the $1 million for 22-23. We're starting a new fiscal year 23-24. So we're going to put another group of schools on the list to get that kind of hardened perimeter fencing done.
Oh,
that's our
good.
plan.
No, that's a real important and something you got to do. And AC replacements. I went to school with just open windows and fans, but
so did I.
That's child abuse nowadays. So.
We're spoiled, right?
They go to school. A lot
Yeah. We had that big fan in the front, that oscillating fan, and you just waited for it to hit you, right? You wanted to be on the front row.
Exactly.
Windows up, and it was fine, right? Yeah, and we drank out of garden hoses.
Oh, absolutely. We had it so rough. But so y'all got a bunch of AC replacements.
Yeah. So that's we're taking advantage of a lot of federal money. We got some American Rescue Plan money. It's called ARP or ESSER, and we found this out kind of late in the game that you could kind of use it to change out AC systems, and we had a lot of outdated. Often broken air conditioning systems. They were hanging on by
bubble gum,
all that kind of duct tape, a lot of that stuff. And look, we had one guy, he knew our systems and he was able to fit. And look, they're so old, we can't find parts.
Right.
So it's time. So we're going to take advantage of some of this money, and we've got a list of about right now. We have 9 schools we're going to get changed out.
Wow.
By the time this money is
that's awesome.
Exhausted.
I mean, look, something always terrible, something good comes out of it.
No doubt.
LaCache is one school that you need an update for, right?
Yeah, right. So matter of fact, that's going to be on the same meeting, right? We're asking for approval to move forward with an architect to begin the design work of it's not the official title. We're calling it a South Terrebonne Middle School. And that's mainly, we're kind of getting to that point right now because LaCache, their building is considered, because of all the parameters of the FEMA and elevation of repairing that school, a substantially damaged school. It's structurally okay right now. So the kids are there and we're going to finish out the year. But when you start digging into that building to do repairs and changing roof, all of a sudden there's some issues that we have to consider. And one of the main issues is elevating that school.
It's going to look kind of like Grand Caillou?
Well, that's if we would kind of build it there. So what we're planning on doing is requesting from FEMA to take the FEMA dollars that school would produce or generate and move that to the property we have as a school board right adjacent to South Terrebonne High School.
Oh.
Right north of South Terrebonne, that big, huge mound of that's all school board property. And the board purchased that property in 2014. It's about 40 acres of land for that very exact purpose.
South
Right. It's pasture land right now, right? So
Berg has that ridge, so it's a higher elevation.
It's really high.
Yeah.
It's really high and very suitable to build a school. So while we're in the process of moving LaCache there was a strategic task force that studied all of the facilities in the parish. And one of the recommendations, it was about a 2-year process, right before COVID, is when this committee kind of looked and analyzed all the schools. One of the recommendations they made was to take LaCache and Montague Middle and combine them into one consolidated. I mean, the one middle school. I mean, right now they're sharing athletic teams. Their cheer squad is both schools combined. They're small, 300 kids apiece. So you put them together, you have about a 700 student campus, which is very reasonable and makes a whole lot of sense. And it's the same exact kids, obviously, that would go to South Terrebonne, with LaCache and Montague Middle. So we're going to propose to accept an architect to begin planning the design of a South Terrebonne Middle, right on that property. Meanwhile, LaCache, because their building is substantially damaged, and we've used that money. We've also begun to move modulars right on the south side of South Terrebonne for LaCache until this building would be constructed.
And people be used to going to
yeah. So they'll be in the same kind of setup as South Terrebonne and Ellender students, and those modulars that they just kind of piece together. It makes a really, really nice building.
Oh yeah. It'd be great to have the campus like that, where everything, it all kind of flows, for traffic and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I see Central, up in North Baton Rouge, Zachary. Those have those kind of campuses.
I think they're K-12 almost all in one site, right? And they all kind of have different.
I drive by those places, so that'd be great to do that. So which leads us into transportation. So
right. So one thing in particular on the east side of the parish, we're gonna make some changes. We have shortage of drivers. We've talked on the station here about recruiting and what we're doing. We have a lot of things in place for that, but we're still short a few drivers. We've recovered a lot of drivers, but when you're short drivers, your routes take longer. The drivers have to double up, take extra routes. And look, they've stepped up and done some tremendous amount of work. But they're tired, right? Yeah. So what we're going to do, instead of doing 3 schools or 3 runs, we're going to do 2. So that means we're going to combine the middle school kids on the bus with high school kids. That's a big change. Particularly, it kind of works because we're going to have LaCache on the same property. So instead of making 2 trips to the same neighborhood, we're going to get them in one shot, and then bring them in one shot. That should,
and it could be
help us with.
It could be a little later too. It's not 6 in the morning.
Right. Should help us be a little bit more efficient. So that's coming on the east side, and then we'll also have the Ellender students. So Oaklawn kids, obviously, most of them go to Ellender. So the kids who live in the same neighborhoods of Oaklawn and Ellender, they're going to ride the same bus on the east side next year. So we'll drop off Oaklawn. Then we'll run the high school kids over to Ellender, and then we'll do the same thing with Grand Caillou Middle. Instead of going down to Grand Caillou
from gas and
yes. So to make it easier to monitor and manage the kids on the bus, we're gonna have an upgraded camera system where it's gonna be live recording. Before we have systems where if there's an incident, we've got to go pull a hard drive out of the bus, physically pull it, and then download it on a computer. Now you can download it straight from your office desk because it's all live.
I got you.
Anyway, that's going to help kind of monitor and just keep behaviors in check and be able to address those kind of things.
Yeah, I guess that's the concern when you mix junior high and high school kids together. But how are our numbers? You see what Jefferson Parish is doing, and I hate to ambush you. I know you didn't plan for this question.
No, but we're looking at that, no doubt. Yeah, we're looking at that. So we're down significantly. We're last I checked, we're under 16,000 kids.
From
when I first 5-6 years ago, we were almost 18,500.
I got you.
So quite. So we're lost close to 2,500 kids,
in
the last 5 years. So, and the storm was a pretty significant portion of that.
Oh yeah.
Now the question is, will they return, or is that just kind of the new numbers? We don't know that. But yeah, we'll have to make some adjustments and look at efficiency and with our numbers.
You don't have anything else going on.
No, but it's coming. Yeah, we've got to start looking at that in all seriousness. Yeah.
Well, Bubba, sure appreciate it, man. Thanks for the update, and enjoy your summer. Although
likewise, yeah,
for sure. All right, we'll be right back with more Bite Time after this.